Say hello. Now we got you, Ben. You know,
This
um,
is a sound check.
yeah, that was my bad. Okay. All right. So we did that whole intro with no audio from you, brother. Sorry about that.
That's
I
why I
had
didn't have anything good to say anyways. They probably
yeah.
benefited from not hearing.
There's
But
this
we're good
button,
now.
I got a lot of buttons to think about, a whole bunch of buttons. I got things to say. I use the you can see in my studio, I've got this is the ATEM mini. It's like the smallest set of buttons they make, and I still have a hard time finding the right buttons
Yeah.
on that.
Well, for a guy that has chosen a career in paints and brushes, that is way too many buttons.
It's too many buttons, man. I'm telling you, and you know, it's when your mind is on one thing. It couldn't be more obvious. It's called the on button. It's a very special button called the on button. You have to push it to turn things on.
I've heard of
That's
these things.
yeah,
On
that's
buttons.
what I missed. That's what I missed. Okay, I apologize. So we didn't hear Ben talking. So we love to hear. Ben, please repeat everything that you said before we cut you out. We're listening.
Yeah, well, what I was saying before was that
we like to
it's
hear
a beautiful
from people
day here in Southern California. I hope it's nice where you're at. If you've got some snow, then I'm jealous.
Totally.
But tell us where you're from. What's going on? How's the weather? I see some Switzerland up in here. We got.
Nice. Hey, is that Jay?
Of,
Jay's been in Switzerland. He's an old friend. He's been to some of the in-person workshops.
Leanne,
Jay,
Jacob, Mavis.
Hey, all right, familiar.
Studios, what up?
Familiar
we got
names.
DA Humdinger.
Nice.
Mason.
Love that username.
It is nice, Humdinger. It's Humdinger.
I'm setting up some skin tone colors is what I'm doing. This really pays off in the long run. Long run meaning the course of a painting. If you know you're going to be painting.
We were talking, Joe and I were talking, just to give you guys a lay of the land here. Like, why do we have a thumbnail on this video of this person, two of these people?
Yeah.
And we were talking about, last week we were going on about, is there a right way to do things, or is there just ways to do things that result in different outcomes? And we were thinking, what's a great way to illustrate that? Well, let's show all the different ways that
probably not all
can light somebody, because there's not like a right way to do a portrait. There's not like a correct way to light something. There's not a correct kind of color necessarily. There's just different ways to light it, and then the emotional outcomes that you get when you light things in different ways, which I deal with a lot of talk. So I was telling Joe, I wonder if you could paint this. Can you paint a bunch of different lighting
scenarios? Yeah, I think that's going to be a fun practice, because in the process we can tinker around with the shapes of shadows, because we're going to be changing the color of those. And for me to do that in a timely manner, change the colors of shadows, I got to know what the shape of them is, so I can real quick fill it in with the brush, And so we're going to get like a generic person on the canvas, and I'm getting all my skin tone colors so that we can change the lightness, darkness of the skin tone, and then we'll do exactly like Ben's talking. So I'm going to get a good lineup of colors here, and you can see the pattern. Anybody that's on to what I'm doing with this pattern, let me know. I'd like to hear if anybody out there knows at a glance exactly what I'm doing to these colors to make them work well for skin tone. All right. Orange, purple. We're going to add.
Just want to say real quick, what's up out there in Florida, John? See you out there in Florida, and cool. Jay in Luzerne, somewhere in Switzerland, I imagine.
That's okay. Like Lucerne, is it spelled like the cheese that we buy over at
Luzern?
Oh, I got all excited there. I was like, oh, is that where it comes from? Oh.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. It would be so exciting.
What a great connecting of dots that would be.
Yeah.
That's where the cheese comes from.
That's it. That's what
Lucerne.
we're looking for.
It all makes sense.
Okay, we got that one. I think I'm going to go one more stage darker on this. Okay, so if nobody has, if no one has said exactly what I'm doing in the chat, then, I didn't want to spoil it. If somebody wanted to call it out, it's not important. It's not like this is a, not like this is a test or a lecture. I just thought it'd be fun if somebody was onto the pattern before I said it. But I'm making, as they get darker, they get more red. As they're lighter, they get more yellow. And so this is going to create the translucent glow that skin tone has. Even if you look at my hand right here, the as it moves into the shadow, well, I might be I might be saying that wrong. This is a way to get a natural light effect, and the translucent glow does indeed make the brighter spots less red, like moving toward more gold where the shadows move toward red. But even if that's not the case, since paint loses color when dark hits light, we boost up that color. So having transition tones along the way. So theoretically, as long as these are somewhat of just somewhere between red and yellow, just some pale orange, I could still make a skin tone without making the translucent glow. I just like the effect of it getting yellower because it makes it just really glow. You'll see when I put it on. So as I get darker, I'm losing intensity. I want the most intensity in the mid-tones. So here, this is less intense because it has white. White is less intense. It's moving toward colorless. Then down here, it could be a lot more intense, but you saw me add some white to that. So I just want to explain that pattern because you might wonder how I'm quickly developing skin tone while I'm working on this, and that's the answer. It's this specific pattern of color. So we'll do one more. And this is the one I'm going to add a little bit of black to. This will really speed up my process.
Just add a little dish soap.
Add a
Yeah. A little ketchup.
Yeah, exactly.
A little
Ranch
mustard.
dressing. A little bit of Hershey's syrup is good. Some of that.
Hershey's syrup.
Maybe we'll just do like a little.
If you really want to know how to get the color,
the secret.
The answer is Hershey's syrup.
I'm going back to the old days when you make your own paint.
Yeah, man. Ink. Just ink it up. You get a squid. Yeah. Squirt some squid in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. So the question is this even darker? No, those are too similar. It's darker than this.
A little hot sauce. Get a little hot sauce in that mix.
Yeah. Some salsa.
That's how Joe gets his mid-tones.
Yeah. Very special trick.
Hot sauce.
Yeah. Man, I love the Chipotle ranch.
Dude, that's magic stuff.
I put it on all kinds of food. I just keep it around. Okay. All right, here we go. This is my
Aaron
lineup.
They were taught to use blue and green in skin tones.
I'm not going to say that that's wrong, but I have the feeling that it's an underexplained context. There's people don't say things for no reason. They've had them work. When you get instructions that seem to be like this is how you do it formula, it tends to be something that someone has had success with and then turns it into a one for all kind of method. And I find it's better to say, if kind of like we're trying to do with light right now, then if you do this, then the effect here's the effect that will cause. That's kind of what we're trying to get at.
Yeah. Blue and green in skin tones, imagine would have the effect of making people look cold.
Yeah, maybe right. Cold. And so let's say that there's a circumstance where you're trying to do some really nice rim lighting. You might really want that. I bet that wouldn't that be funny if that was totally a joke? they picked the most non-skin colors. Ben, are we talking to someone who was even being serious?
Aaron, are you pulling my chain, man?
You pulling my chain because my skin's not blue or green.
This is live, Aaron. Don't mess with us.
Yeah. He's like, these guys are nothing but serious all the time. I'm gonna get them.
Yeah, well, you know, Aaron's coming in from the UK, so maybe it's a sense of humor that we're just not accustomed to. There's a lot of UK-isms. Hey, man, Joe, you would do me a favor and get that mouse cursor right off of my mouth right here?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, totally.
It's just weird as well. I mean, it's not a deal breaker.
Yeah, is that better? Is that better right there? Okay. I get that off. Okay, I got it. Yeah. You're on like a 5-second delay, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. You know that. Well, I'm very coordinated.
Yeah, nice work. All right, we need a face here. I've got all these colors, and I can do so many different skin tones with this. And I'll just keep my primaries handy. See, I'll go down here and keep black and white handy for when I need to go outside of the gamut that I've created here. This one was kind of a fail. We'll just put this one. We'll just kind of put that there in case we need it later. So look, see, I've got my shadows in order. So if I want to do someone with dark skin, I'll be working in this range. If I want to do someone with light skin, I work in this range. You know, it's kind of cool because it continues to gain that intensity. So it's somewhat of a shortcut. I think if I knew ahead of time, I'm going to paint someone with exactly a certain skin color, I might be more targeted, but this is a real good generalized setup to do all different colors of skin tone. Just making this kind of red to yellow, less intense to more intense. And then your lightest. Okay, I've over-explained it. That means it's time to move on. I'm going to go up here, start making a person. What do you say?
I mean, let's see if you can just get a person up on there real quick.
Yeah. How are we going to make this person? How, let's make skin. We were talking about how skin that's a little darker captures color. Like you get some deep, seems like you can get some deeper purples and blues. And so we might do some interesting things with light if we get a bit more color. And, it does make sense because this color is generally orangish, and that in terms of light, if you put a blue light on an orange, you're going to get a shade of purple. Boom, done. All right, Ben, what are we doing?
Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. That's a wrap. We're going to get out of here. I hope this has been
that's it. Okay.
Educational.
Yeah. All right. So there's shapes to these shadows. You'll see me working with repeatedly. First of all, let's say we got this person looking straight, but what do you think? Is that too boring? Should we turn the person a bit sideways? What do you think?
I mean, straight's good.
Straight's good. Yeah, all right. Let's just do straight. Let's keep it boring. Straight on. We'll do a little bit of anatomy study. We got shapes to shadows. So there's a shape right under a set of cheeks like this. Think of a triangle that starts real close to the height of the nostril, and it's a triangle. See, this is a shape of a shadow. And of course, all of these are subject to changes. Minor changes. As I get this in place, it'll become easier and easier for me to maintain a natural looking form while just painting over these shapes because I'll have them in place. But getting them in place the first time can be a challenge. Okay, there's a shadow under the nose. If the nose goes down, it'll be a skinny shadow. If the nose goes up, it'll be a taller shadow. You get the
All right, so you're already making decisions here about where the light is coming from. Is that correct?
Well, we're going to put a generic. We're going to put
making decisions about where your shadow goes. That means you're making decisions.
Well,
about
that's
where
true.
The light's coming.
You're right. I've made a decision.
From the inception, you're thinking about what is your lighting story.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, that's true. And I'm trying to keep it boring. This lighting is to be ordinary room lighting, where we've got a light that is coming from above and is not like a pinpoint light making hard shadows. It's softish light. Maybe we got light in windows, we got an overhead light in a room, whatever it is, it's something we've seen a million times. So I'm going to put my brightest spot. You know, that's kind of a very light color. We'll take it easy on that color. We'll just use a little bit on my brightest outward areas. Yeah, it's like this lighting. Okay. It's the same lighting that's on my face. If I go like this and I look at, well, you know, I got kind of like, it's not the same. I'm wrong. Okay.
Not the same.
It's not. It's like that. I'm just making generic lighting. So when I start a picture, you know, I think you bring up a valuable point, Ben. When I start a picture, I'm thinking of light that is what people might call ambient. It's just coming from the outside of the object. And so deeper areas are darker, while shallower areas are lighter. And that's really the only pattern I'm following, and that helps me to sculpt my subject. So I'm just doing a quick sculpture, as in getting the shape decided. You know, so I'm going to put my nose. Notice I made the nose lighter so that it comes forward. I made the forehead lighter so that it comes forward. And again, you know, on my thumbnail, I did a female looking character. I did a feminine look. So we'll do the same thing. We'll do something. And the reason I chose that, I thought maybe there'd be more helpfulness in simultaneously showing how to move between masculine and feminine characteristics. And it's all in the skull. All in the skull.
All in the skull.
I guess it's not all in the skull. As soon as you say an absolute statement, you know, you find yourself wanting to go back and correct it later. But that's how I'm going to handle it. So here is the upper lip. We're going to go in here, go like this, make an upper lip. It's got the shadow under it. We don't need this to be a real refined picture. So when I say it's all in the skull, what I mean is I'm going to be watching how deep I make all of these sockets appear and how large basically from the brow ridge down, you know, all of the face bones grow faster, bigger in males. And so we can quickly detect that. And that's why you can have, like, I could take a 13-year-old boy and turn it into a 40-year-old woman with just a few style changes. You know, it's very similar skull structure because they're at about the same place, about the same stage in face bone growth. You can see on me and Ben's face, if you look at the two of us, very, very typical white guy face, deep. You know, we got this nose ridge that isn't so sharp and deep eye sockets on everybody. You know, that's definitely like it's a trait. But if we were female, they wouldn't be as deep, and the chin be a little bit less low, a little bit less square. It'd be that's how it'd be. So, you know, this is a very universal thing that you can use. So I can quickly turn this into a more masculine or more feminine looking character using that information. All right, we're going to do lips. Let's put some.
Do those
lips.
Yeah,
let's get some red on. So what's our first lighting scenario going to be?
Well, you know, I was thinking it's really interesting here, you know. So there's this thing about lighting, and I can show you real quick.
Yeah, I'd love to see. Yeah, I want to see what's on your mind. Now, Ben, just so you know, Ben is not just he's not just filling up dead space here on lighting. This is his profession. For context, Ben is a professional videographer. He's managing a lot of film sets, doing expensive commercial shoots. You know, people are putting a lot of faith in the form of dollars in his understanding of these stuff.
Yeah. Monday through Friday, I'd put light on faces.
Yeah. So we thought, hey, this would be cool to cross-reference how our two art forms have to mind this. You know, we're living in the same world. My bad.
Let's get eyes on your canvas, and you know, I think that if you, while you're doing that, Joe, if you wanna cut to the Ben cam, I'll show you something here. So what's going on here, guys? While Joe's getting his paints in order here, as I told Joe, you know, you can change the way that a face feels, the emotional quality of a face, just by changing the lighting. So this is a concept in
Are you gonna change your face right now?
yeah, exactly. So
nice. All right.
check this
That's
out.
cool.
Look at my face, right? I got a light right here. I got a lamp, you know,
Yeah.
a little handheld
Okay.
lamp.
Okay.
See, right? It's getting all
Whoa.
cut out because
We're
I'm
in
in
the
outer space.
future.
But I'm going to take this light and move it around my face, right? And look how the effect changes. Right now, Joe is lighting this face probably right about here, right? With the lamp in front of the
Let's see.
face.
Lamp in
And it's
front of the
creating
face.
kind of just like a general trustworthiness. See that hot spot on my forehead? That's what he's doing. He's creating that little hot spot. And this is how you light a face when you just want them to be like approachable. You have information about the person, you trust them, right? But check this out. If I just keep the exact same face and I move this light around the side of my face, all of a sudden it looks like I'm going to tell you something very dramatic, right? Like there's a lot of mystery to what I'm talking about. You know, like, ooh, lighting
I see
face,
that.
how intriguing. Then
I
check
see
this
that.
out. If I do this now and I continue and move the light underneath my face,
Yeah. No,
all of a
ugly.
sudden I am the last person that you would trust or let near
We
your
don't-
children, for that matter, because
Yeah.
this guy is very scary, right? But I'm
Yeah.
making the same face that I've made the whole time. And then furthermore, if you really want to create like mystery and you want someone to be like sad, lonely, living in darkness, you know, maybe they had a bad day, they got in a fight with their wife, you know, they
Had a
lost
bad
their
day.
dog, whatever. Well, then you can just take the light and you put it behind them, right?
Oh,
And
it's
now
moody.
now my whole face is dark, right? And there's just this sense of darkness about me, right? You know, and so there's just this dramatic power to lighting and where you put the light. And so there's not necessarily a right way to light a face. There's not a correct way to do it. There's just the emotional value that you get when you light different ways.
But there is
So
a
I
way
told
that
Joe,
fits
how do you
the
do that in
order.
paint? You know, how do you change these lighting scenarios? Translate them to paint. He's like, I can do that. So here we are.
That's it. That's it. We're getting the shapes in place so that we can quickly. Oh, man, that's rough. Yeah,
Bro, what happened to that face?
What happened? Okay, we got a bigger chin right here. It's all going to come together very quickly when we get to the smaller details. Okay, we're going to put that shadow under the lip. Shoop, shoop. We do this. Whoa, we got a crooked lip. Whoops. A little bit smaller. Now see how the chin drops down because of the height I put the mouth at? We're gonna shrink that chin in order to make this have more feminine appearance. And you know, we could actually bump that chin further out. You know, watch, this is kind of fun. It'll go whoop, bump out a lot if I put lighter color, and it recesses in if I do the opposite, if I put shadow. So here you can sculpt a face, and this is my first step in any portrait. That thumbnail, I did paint that thumbnail in a pretty short time that you saw on the video with this exact method. So I'm just repeating that approach. We're going to put this lower cheek in here. I'm just paying attention. Since I've got my colors pre-mixed, all I have to do is pay attention to how dark they are. That's all I have to do. Okay, now we're going to put a shadow here for the neck. We'll do this. Yeah, so which one of these?
This is not just our speculation either here, Joe. Let me show you something else. I want to show you some supporting evidence here. So
let's see some supporting evidence.
All right.
Oh, well, wrong one.
Check this out, right? So here's just a Google search of a villain, right? And sure enough,
the light. Yeah.
Look how it's lit, right? You know, you get this villainous kind of a thing. Well, then if you want to, you're like, all right, well, let's have a look at, you know, a hero then. All right, well, let's see. What do heroes look like? All right, well, hey, check it out. Face is brightly lit. You know, we've got great exposure on the face here. You know, none of this like backlit drama stuff or underlit stuff. So these are some concepts you can rely on. You know, you say you want drama. All right, well, let's look at some drama. So you got a dramatic portrait here. And then we hit this side light. See, now this is all that stuff I was talking about, deep emotion, sadness, or untrustworthiness. You know, this dude right here is a great example, right? We don't see a lot of the information on his face because there's a lot of stuff going on there. So how you light your thing is going to be like one of the first decisions you make, and probably one of the most important, because Joe and I were talking about how it's not getting the object correct, the shapes of the object correct alone. It's getting the object shapes and the lighting scenario so that they both tell the same story of like what emotion are you trying to do, you know?
Well, and I thought this was especially valuable because I know the tendency as an artist to prioritize the shapes. You know, you're like, I'm going to put a person into, I'm going to paint a person, put a person.
Yeah.
I'm going to paint a person. And what, you know, the only thing crossing my mind while I'm painting this person is getting the shapes right. And so then the whole picture's done and it crosses my mind that it has some kind of a feel to it. And I'm like, but is that even the feel I want? Where, you know, and that just shows the big disconnect between our fields of work when they can help each other and use the same data, because we're all trying to make controlled visual content. We're all trying to make visual content that is per our decisions, right? You know, we want to control it. That's what I mean by control. But there seems to be a lack of understanding sometimes in those elements. So I thought, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's not even worry about getting the person right until we've actually captured the mood that we want for the picture, or else nobody really, I don't want to talk down about anybody's work, but nobody cares about it if the mood's not good. You know, if the mood isn't well done, I should say. Sometimes you intentionally create a bad mood. Okay. I had a little bit of a handshake there. We're going
to... somebody's eyeball is bleeding.
Yeah. Or maybe bad mascara job, perhaps. We'll let that dry, come back to it. But look, it made a nice shadow under the eyelid. So we're just about ready to start putting some key shadows in here. We don't need a real clean picture in order to accomplish this. We can start with a relatively messy picture and start.
Nice. Yeah, JL calls it a happy accident, Joe. No big deal.
Happy accident. Okay. You know,
his lips are making those slightly slanted lips, looking like she's got a tood.
Oh, that's true. It does kind of look that way, doesn't it? Well, let's see what happens as it progresses. I imagine the expression is going to change because I'm going to be thinking mostly about getting the lighting in place. So we'll see. All right, let's do this. Let's throw a little bit of hair on. We're going to do dark hair. We've got some somewhat brownish colored skin. So I think I'll choose not softer. I got distracted. I got multiple thoughts. Choose a darker colored hair for the complexion. Right now I'm bringing the cheeks out a little more, making them not as protruding by expanding the shape of that highlight that's there. We can put a little shadow here.
So we got a question, Joe. Are you adding any medium to your paint to make it any thinner?
No, since it's wall paint, it is especially thin. You know, this is not like out of tubes. I think that's a very common question for good reason. It is quite thin compared to what you would find in tubes. But I got so used to painting with wall paints because my job is painting these things on walls. I just didn't have a reason to go back to doing artist tubes that cost more and are harder to handle. So didn't have a reason to do that. Now, I'm not saying there is no reason, because there are some valuable things that you can get out of using artists. While we're on that subject, might as well say it while I'm while I'm putting some smaller details on this face. Some valuable things you get out of tubes is texture. It'll save some more painterly brush texture a lot of the time. Although you can get that out of these too, as the paint, depending on the brand and how thick it is, But you can get that, and it is more concentrated pigment as well. All right, we got kind of a boogery, as in paint boogers. Not like I have boogers coming out of the nose. Okay, I'm going to brighten this another layer to bring that nose forward. You can see that comes right forward when I do this. I put a little dunk, sends the nose out more. We've got more three-dimensional characteristic to that. And, then we do hair. Let's put some dark hair on this character. All right, how are we going to do the hair? What kind of hair are we going to do here? Let's have some fun with it. Well, are we still trying to stay kind of neutral and generic? We don't want to do too excited of a hairstyle, right?
I mean, mohawks are cool.
All right. We'll just do something a tiny bit.
Box.
Yeah, I'm not much of a hairstylist, so I've been listening to a lot of 80s music lately.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
What's
so
your jam?
We're gonna do like David Bowie.
Duran maybe?
That's cool. I like Duran. I was listening to Tarzan Boy right before the show started. Oh
yeah, that's a good jam right there.
Dude, it's so good. It's happy. That's what's missing from a lot of music today is the happy vibe. Okay, we're just throwing some generic color in here just to
maybe
to get
it says that they like the idea of sculpting with paint, which it appears you're doing here, kind of creating.
Yeah, that's shape, what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what I would call it, because you're developing three-dimensional perception. So, even though it's not literally sculpting, I think it's a different approach to painting where you're not trying to think of like lighting as in which side is lit and which side is shadow. It's more like just using the concept of coming toward you as lighter and going into the object as darker. Nose holes are darker. Eye sockets are darker. And that concept feels, as I'm doing it, it feels very much like sculpting, because I'm just bringing things forward, sending things back. And I think it's been real helpful to me and it's a good beginning stage, because once that part is done, it gives me it's real convenient, because it gives me a base that I can add direct lighting to. Then I can add the stuff we're talking about, the mood lighting, which we're about ready to start implementing, because more of this is going to develop as we're doing that.
Yeah, it's a trick with fun. And by the way, here the goal today is not to make a person that looks attractive, or
although it is already attractive. You have to admit this is one attractive person.
I mean, this person's looking very punk rock right now. That 80s dude. It's got like a Nikki Sixx kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
Kiss. I feel like they could probably play a mean riff on guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
I want to rock and roll all night. And T's Art says they love watching you paint. And you probably said this before, but what brand do you get, Joe? Is it Sherwin?
These some of these are still left over. I ran out of them in the gallon, but some are still California paints, because for a while our local hardware store was carrying it, and they have really great strong pigments. Like this red, this is California paints. It just has a really bright pigment. So like I was saying, it's hard to find paints that have as concentrated of a pigment ratio as the tubes, but these do a pretty darn good job. And so I was using those.
This chat over here is where you can say stuff, and Joe will get the message, because I'm watching the chat. I'm throwing it at him. So if you want to talk about paint, you want to talk about mustard. You want to
That's
talk about heavy metal, then throw it up in the chat.
that yellow is Sherwin-Williams. That's why I put that on there. And I have my favorite. I don't have one brand that does all the colors best. Sherwin-Williams has a great yellow. That's where I go for the yellow. Bear has a factory black that I just put into this tube. So Bear I got from our local hardware store at the Home Depot. And I actually mixed this like 50-50 with a phthalo blue. That's why when I add white to this it gets real blue. It's convenient for doing shadows, but there's other times when I need just a true black. So they're different. They're from different places. Those are the ones that are on the table at the moment. I'm not loyal to any particular brand because it's a constantly changing industry.
Yeah, Mavis says they usually get their iron oxide at Sherwin-Williams, but they don't have a pure orange pigment. So
that's true. Yeah, they're not great for orange. Yeah, and they'll make an orange, but it's going to be a red and yellow mix, and it will definitely not be of the same intensity as this one. You could get the paints and do a side by side, but this would be like a cadmium orange where it's an actual single compound that has an orange color, the pigment. Where if you mix two colors, a darker and a lighter, you're always losing the intensity that the two originals have. Every time you mix primaries, you're losing intensity. I'm sure there's an exception somewhere, but let's just say for practical purposes. All right. I always hear myself when I say, whenever you do this. All right, Ben, let's add some mood lighting. What do you think? Are we going to backlight it? Are we going to front light it? Are we going to underlight it? You got any opinions?
All right, so right now what you got is a nice little face light. It's just a nice little diffused right over the forehead. It looks like this person. You could talk to this person. Let's add some drama, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we just add some drama and hit it from a side, a half and half look, So like
side light. Okay, I like it.
We only know half of the story,
very nice. Okay. Yeah. Let's
perhaps we see the left eye, but not so much the right. This is a very
okay.
look.
Okay, so then how if we do that, what color are we going to put the shadowed side? This is an issue we get into with painting, is we got to take a color off our palette and put it there. And so it can be helpful. Like we could put a shadow that's not completely black. Or do you think it should be completely absent of detail? What do you think?
Right. Well, this is a good thing to consider. We were talking about this. It's a gradient of effect. So it's like, how much of the effect do you want? Do you want to go like just some side light for some drama, some mystery?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do a ton of side light where it goes from like really bright on one side to completely black on the other? Really contrast.
Yeah, right.
Now you're extremely dramatic. It's extremely mysterious. So it's a gradient of effect, and you get to pull that lever or push that button.
Yeah. So I'm going to choose a kind of cool color. We're going to go.
I think more dramatic is let's just do as much as we can. We'll go from like
okay, dark.
Real bright on one side to real dark on the other.
Real dark. We're gonna get a real dark color on here. We're gonna put this in its skin, so we're gonna maintain some skin color in there. Let's put some of this brown, some red. Well, you could put any color. It just depends on the light. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's go up here and do it. We're gonna go like this. And we're going to follow this shadow line. We'll start, we'll cut it off gradually. We're going to side light this. It's going to come down here. Right there. Okay. Shadowed that. Let's put a shadow right here. Here's a shadow.
Yeah. Ruin it, man. Ruin it.
You can see I'm moving slower now because I've got areas mapped out. I know exactly where I'm putting the shapes. And so they're just mapped out. Okay, we're going to light that. Now we're going to keep closing in on this shadow side. We won't stop. at that one spot. But, you know, we will put a little bit of transition. Like here, we might choose to go a little more color. Let me get this one. And we're going to go a little more color in there as it approaches here. It goes deeper into the shadowed side. Like that. There we are. Then this is going to be shadowed. Oh, we got a strong light coming from my right side here. There we are.
This is just a slight off topic here, but Jacob's asking, what's your favorite lighting scenario for mountain scenes, and or your favorite lighting scenario for ocean wave scenes?
I like super atmospheric lighting, and probably at like the golden hour, you know, like the typical sun coming down at a, you know, not all the way down, but it's starting to get colored, and atmosphere is thick, so the lighting glows, and so you have in the shadows, you have other colors where it's not just shadow side, light sides. You know, it softens it and adds color to the shadows as well. That's probably my favorite because it's just so moody, you know, just so rich with mood. The, you know, just sun's going down.
We are fans of drama, aren't we?
Yeah.
Us sensitive types.
Yeah, totally. Okay, we're going to put a shadow there.
Do you name your paintings, Joe? JL wants to know.
I don't, but when it's necessary, if I'm going to try to sell it, I'll title it. Yeah, like I sold that one. I uploaded it to Instagram, and it said, "Are you uploading AI art?" It was like an abstract landscape thing. It thought it was AI. I took it as a compliment, and I called that Just a Thought. I named it because.
You got a name you want to give this person here? They're curious.
No, I don't. But you can.
Yeah, JL, what you got?
Yeah, let's give it a name.
Let's hear some good suggestions for this person here as we light this dramatic portrait.
Yeah, it's getting more dramatic here. We're gonna close in on this now. Let's close in on that cheek. Right there.
So Jacob's saying, where's the position of the sun in your mind's eye when you're painting that atmospheric scene? And we were talking about golden hour, Jacob, you know, like late afternoon, sundown on the side, nice and low.
Yeah, I like side light, but that's a good question. You know, like, is it that way or is it behind me? I like it when it's ever so slightly behind. I like the backlit, but then I always cheat a little bit and grab a little bit of front lit because I don't want just silhouettes. Silhouettes are too boring. But I love the drama of backlit scenes. So, you know, because it's a painting, I try to grab the best of both worlds. We're going to put some eyelashes in here while we're at it. Here we go.
Annette Volunteers Homegrown. That's an interesting name. Sounds like that sounds like a name you would call your college roommate.
Yeah, this is homegrown. Yeah. Hey, what's up, mullet?
Hey, you want to go to In-N-Out Burger, homegrown?
That's good. I like that name. I like it. Okay, we're going to do the shadow, bring it in on the forehead. We're going to bring it down the nose right here. Okay, we need more of that darkness. Let's throw in some darkness right here. It makes noise. Yeah. Darkness makes noise.
Annette thinks that your character here might be on some substances.
Yeah, that's it. We got substances. Well, and I like that comment because it shows that we are changing the mood of the picture dramatically with that side lit look.
That's it. There's a story happening. That's it. It's not just a boring mannequin. We're thinking things about this person. What is going on? What story might be affiliated with this?
I want to put a hard shadow coming this way, like this. Let's get rid of that ear. We don't need to see that ear. That's gone. I'm gonna go like this.
Ear's gone. Get rid of that ear. We don't need that ear.
Get rid of that. We don't need that. Okay, we'll have just a little bit of shadow there. We're gonna put some of this in here, darken this. You know, just looking for the same shapes We got to settle for a very abstract kind of a deal.
That's it. Mavis calls it the Van Gogh ear. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of it. Okay, I'm gonna put some eyelashes on homegrown. Let's go like this. It's just gonna be a line.
Eyelashes. It's kind of
Yeah,
freaking me
we're
out right now without the eyelashes.
yeah, we're just gonna do just a dark line like
You know,
this
so
is
there's
fine.
also this, Joe, in my work, there's the issue of your display medium is two-dimensional, right? It's a screen or it's a
Yeah,
picture.
right.
But what you are trying to show is three-dimensional. It's the world, it's people, it's shapes, right? So
Yeah,
your job with light as a lighting person and as an artist that's trying to create images, a lot of the job, should you choose to accept, is taking a two-dimensional surface and convincing the eyeball that it is three-dimensional.
yeah,
You do that by defining the shapes with the light. You know, you don't use light only for emotion. You also use light because you want to understand the shapes that you're looking at, the depth
yeah,
of the image, and create a sense that this is a real thing. It's not fake. It's not a two-dimensional surface. You want people to, as they say, suspend their disbelief.
yeah.
That's what you're
That's it.
after.
Okay,
And so
that's
what
cool.
you've done now with this side light, as opposed to how we started, it's
Yeah.
really effective. All of a sudden, I feel the depth of this person's face. You know, they're not just a flat face on a flat screen.
That's true. It does
Like
lend
now I'm
itself
like,
to
oh, their head's
extreme
probably
depth.
about, 8-10 inches deep or whatever, like I just feel
Yeah.
the depth more.
Right. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, there's lots of depth there. Yeah, so the front light is not going to achieve that same level of depth. It's not going to accomplish that. You think? You think that's
It
accurate?
does not. Yeah, it does not. And actually, like the
Like flash photography.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Usually one of the least depth like images is when you have your light source at your eye POV,
Yeah.
like shooting the bright side, they say. That's
Yeah.
typically not a very deep looking image.
Yeah. All right. So then we need background on this. So what do you think we should we squeeze in on the? I feel like I could keep squeezing in, moving the light back. I did just enough light. What if we darkened this cheek right here? Made it so there's less light still on that side.
Yeah.
So I can keep darkening this side to bring the shadows, to change the direction. So this is a change of subject, but this is, you can see me using my really hard geometric shapes. No blending. I'm just doing this in art form. That's just leaving the blending out of it because it gets the picture across. It'd be great cartooning.
It's great, man.
Strategy.
It feels like now, you know what this feels like now? All of a sudden, this person went from like being nowhere, an object nowhere. Now all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, there's probably like a late afternoon sun, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
off to this person's
Okay,
left.
that's
The
cool.
sun must be falling. We've got this warm light,
Right. That's good insight. I didn't think of that. From nowhere to somewhere. Let's just call that'll be the name of the painting.
Yeah, it puts them in a place. It gives them a relationship to something. You know, when you establish your lighting thoughtfully, it
so
puts
here's
them in a world.
Now here, this, we can run with that idea and create the context of just something believable. Watch how I'll just throw in colors. Now I know that the light is not a cool colored light here. So I'll just take a warm color and I'll put it in here. And then I'm going to fade that to a darker color as it goes here. And this is a fun way to do backgrounds at a start. You can do a whole landscape with this concept. Same idea, thinking about mood lighting. You can get the details in according to your big soft gradient later after you get it decided. So here, I've got more light on the right side. Right here, let's not have the outline effect. Let's make sure we come all the way to that edge and make sure we don't accidentally do a weird background. But you can see that immediately doing like what you're talking about, Ben, is creating a sense of somewhere because it's a gradient. environments tend to be rich with gradients.
Yeah.
And so like this is the way you simulate metallic reflection for that reason, you know, is because it has lots of gradients because it's reflecting a whole environment. Yeah, see, so there now I've got my, this just became an 80s album cover. What do you think? Think 80s
Oh, you know, it's
album
funny.
cover?
Tease Art was just saying this reminds him of Joan Jett, and I had to Google it.
That's
Who
it.
Joan Jett is, but sure enough, looks like Joan Jett.
Nice. I love rock and roll. Come
Put
on.
another dime in the jukebox, baby.
Let's do another lighting scene. Let's totally overhaul the mood. Yeah, now I don't think we got untrustworthy out of that. What do you think? What could we do
No,
to
that's
make
not untrustworthy. This is just dramatic, right?
dramatic?
You
Because
know,
it's
so
side
here,
like
here,
that's it.
Joe,
Yeah.
can you do me a favor? Can you cut to me real quick, Joe? You put me on camera.
Yeah.
So, like, here's where you're at, Joe. Here's where you're at, right? So you went from this, okay?
Got it.
This is where we started, just right
Yeah.
on, you know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Fine.
Look, I'm gonna
And then
look
we
for
were
the
like,
shapes I just painted.
we were like, hey,
There they are. There they are.
all right, right?
Man, that was cool because I could see the shape on your dark cheek. I can see it close in, and I see that shape I just painted. You know, as you do that, it like gets smaller than big, especially with the compression of the video. It puts sharper edges on it, so it's real obvious.
Yeah, so this
So
is a
fun.
fun one, right? So now let's do this. Let's take your story, right? So here's your story. And
Okay.
say, you know, you might hire this person. They're trustworthy, you know,
Yeah, maybe.
you
It's a maybe.
yeah. So then we're over here and it's like, you know, we were out in the woods. There we were, right? You know,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was dark, right? And then if you go like this, and then we ran into, and then
Yeah, but yeah, in the movie, you're gradually walking into that lighting scene. It's subtly changing so that you don't say, "Oh, they put a light under him," while he's, you know, you gradually change it, right?
that's it. You know, in film, a lot of times when a character is going through like a story arc and they're going from like their beginning place, state of being to their final changed state of being, you know, a lot of times they'll go from being a hero to a villain and then back to a hero, you know, or they'll go from, you know, darkness to light, darkness. They'll walk in and out of these lighting scenarios and you'll feel the emotion because of the light change. So
Yeah,
I think if you want to have a really powerful effect here, Joe, you could definitely do like a underlighting scenario and create just a monstrous villainous Joan Jett.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Come on, let's do it. We're gonna make this. We're gonna make this a much lighter color. Let's go like this. We'll do just like, you think it should be a cool color, a warm color. The underlighting, what's that gonna look like? See that shape? I'm putting that shape in.
Well, it's your light coming from underneath, right? So it's not a reflection off of anything. It's your light source is underneath, you know, and
but we could make it any color. Yeah, we can make it like, let's say they're standing over a swimming pool getting ready to drown something, or let's say they're over a fire getting ready to burn something.
That's it. You're watching something burn. You're hovering over something burning.
Yeah,
you're just that villainous.
Yeah, but this can't be over something burning because it's cool colored light.
Or you're standing over a city looking down on the city as it lights the underside of your face.
Yeah.
From your
yeah, and we're gonna darken. We'll darken the top side.
That color's working.
That's working. Okay, nice. The purple is a real common color, you know, on because skin tone has the red in it, an amount of red light to make the orange. So you end up with a decent amount of purple result from any bluish shade of light that shines on it is likely to produce somewhat of a purple result. Okay, we're going to put light here like that. Okay, there we go. Let's put a little band of light on the hair too.
That's right. It's an unnatural place for light to come from underneath. So it creates the emotional quality of, wait, that shouldn't be that way. I don't trust that person. What's going on there?
Interesting. You know what? The skeptical side of me always has to question when somebody says why. Now your explanation does sound right, but I can't help but question: is there something else to that reaction? Maybe not. Maybe that's
I
it.
mean, it just seems to me that, we're accustomed to the way that this set of physics works in our
Yeah.
existence here,
Yeah.
when we see this pattern, it often implies X, right? We're like,
Yeah.
we come to conclusions based on what we're perceiving, and there's just these patterns of um, when lighting is coming from a certain way, it tells a certain story. Our
Yeah.
imaginations run with it. Our desire to project the future kicks in, and we want to understand why
Right.
is something lit this way.
Yeah.
Fire. If light is coming from under something, that's often fire, and fire is dangerous. you know
Yeah. Right.
just
I
these
mean, it does
very
make sense. Yeah. Yeah.
biological anchors in our perception of light and emotion and how they interact.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wonder, yeah, when something's underneath, I would like to like dig into the coding of it all. Like, interesting. Why do I have this reaction? There's real mysterious things in that world of why we do what we do. People have tinkered around with all weird science experiments, making people have
Weird
reactions.
science.
Yeah, like I like to listen to podcasts that deal with these things. Like there's sound frequencies that'll agitate the heck out of you and make you do crazy stuff. Okay, I'm just continuing down the same path, darkening my the stuff that I put facing up, that forehead, that's gotta darken. You can see that I have a lot of room to be real messy with this. I think that that's the fun part of this all is that when you're thinking person, you're thinking, oh, I got to be super careful with the details. Well, I would say super aware of the structure of the details, but not super careful, because there's a whole bunch of wiggle room when it comes to style. All right, how are we doing? Do we got trustworthy? Is this trustworthy? This person? Uh-oh, we lost Ben. We had must have been a fire in Ben's house. He was talking. He'll get back and we'll take a look at the comments. Yeah, so this is something that I find very liberating, is that we have a lot of room to just make the details so sloppy as long as the general location of them is fitting. And I've got these shapes committed to memory. Like this is a shape, this neck. We could put, how would we do this neck? Let's put darker color on this neck. Let's grab this, and here's a shape as this little triangle, kind of like the cheek shadow. Here's another shape as the jugular area. Do you have an emergency there, Ben?
No, I had to see a man about a horse.
Okay, got it. No further explanation. Where you left, I started talking about. I was jibber jabbering about how liberating it is to have these general shapes committed to memory, so that I can do this sloppy work and still have it look like our person in our lighting, because it's not dependent on the accuracy of small details. It's dependent on location of larger details, because our imagination wants to see it. Your imagination wants to make sense. This is the way I would explain it. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong, but the way I see it, our imagination is always trying to assemble and make sense. And so it does a lot of work that you don't necessarily have to do with the paintbrush.
Yeah,
All right, there we go.
Details are not always perceptible. In fact, details are only perceptible when you're kind of up close and personal with things.
Right.
Or if there's great clarity in the world, but a lack
Man, you're
of
right
detail
about that.
is more common. You look out at the horizon, there's a lack of detail, there's obscurity, there's
I know how much of your life is actually looking up close to things. So many conversations are with the person across the room when you don't see all the stuff that we're focusing hard on painting at the moment. I mean, I think that's a really valuable point is just the percentage of your life you spend not having access to those details. You know?
Yeah, they're not essential, you know,
Yeah.
as much as reliable patterns, you know.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm mood lighting again. I'm putting the red up top now. We got some red light up here. We're gonna take a little bit of yellow right there, blend that in. Let's put some white. You know, I'm just trying to get
Elon
some.
Olson says, "Hi, long time no see."
Hey, all right. Good to see you, my friend.
And Mavis is hungry for
Glad
some
you're tuned.
homework, Joe. You want to give Mavis some homework?
Yeah, memorize these shapes. Most helpful thing with people ever is memorizing these basic shapes that I'm changing the color of. You can do this yourself with many guides. You know, it's not like my set of shapes is the one way to do it. It's just the way that works for me. But something I find tremendously helpful with people is having this basic geometry committed to memory, so that when I go to manipulating a picture, I'm not like fearful that it's going to ruin my details. You know what I mean? Super helpful.
I feels you. I feels you. And Darlene just entered the building saying, "Hey, Joe, I get to watch while we're driving home from a funeral in Texas."
Oh man, sorry. Oh,
so
that does not sound like a good
real life stuff over there in Texas. Glad to have you here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry that the occasion is a funeral, but very glad that you're here joining us. Okay, I won't do the other side because time, but I just wanted to set up the mood gradient. You know?
That's it. Yeah, light from underneath.
Yeah, let's go like here. Let's make the piece of art not include the left side. That's all it is. We'll just put half the face.
Done.
It's not, give me $1 million. Come on. I'm just gonna hang that rag on there and display it.
Dude, that's some Banksy stuff, man. Just stick that rag right to the painting. What does it say about humanity?
And then I won't have time to answer your stupid questions because I'm a very prestigious artist.
It's true. You're very in demand.
Yeah.
Can't go anywhere.
Yes, you can't ask me why I did this stuff. It's way too deep for explanation.
Do you know what makes people look young, Joe? Elon's curious.
I do indeed. It's that bone growth that I was talking about. This person can look older or younger if I use that sculpting with light and shadow to expand the face bones. This creates age, and eyes get further apart. So this is a general pattern. There's all kinds of, you know, like you find patterns and then you find a lot of exceptions, except the presence of the pattern in some form is really what causes it. So it's not, I just want to emphasize that it's not absolute, but it's very helpful to know. So this person I can turn into a more masculine, more male, more female. I can change those perceptions with face bones and how grown they are.
They kind of got Rufio. Got a bit of a Rufio vibe going on right now.
Ah, Rufio. Oh, totally. Oh man, I love
a stripe of red in that hair and done.
Let's do it. Let's put a stripe of red in the hair, like down the middle. How was it with Rufio?
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's a stripe there.
Yeah, let's put a stripe of red
in that rebellious spot, in that subversive rebellious spot.
Yeah. We don't care. We don't care about proper. We're just gonna.
I mean, Rufio's not trying to get a job anywhere, right?
Yeah,
not trying to look presentable. Just gonna put some red in there.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really fit our lighting scheme. You know, I wouldn't say that it's a perfect fit to the rest of the scheme.
No, you basically ruined the picture just now.
Yeah, agreed. All right, well, let's do a different lighting scheme. Let's finish up the project with another lighting scheme.
So we did this one, right? We did the light in the front of the face.
Yeah, we got it.
We did the light off to the side. We moved it around to the side, and we got drama. and then we moved it
That's it.
underneath, and we got an unnatural feeling, an
Yeah.
uncomfortable feeling, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Now, what if you go behind, right, like this?
Ah,
Just
okay.
give him a little,
Okay.
give him a little rim
But when
light.
you,
Give him this
okay,
right here.
let's
Give
see,
him
let's
this
see, let's see.
silhouette. Give him this.
Ah, yeah,
I
right.
am
Now I
going
see.
to
Oh.
destroy you.
But we still have natural shadow placement on the front of the face. It's
That's
just
it.
all within shadow gamut.
Yeah.
Meaning within a
this,
shadow is variation.
you see, like I think this guy. He's telling an interesting story. You listen to his story.
Yeah.
This person, you're gonna run away from. They're very scary.
Yeah.
This person right here.
Yeah.
Let's
try it.
Very mysterious.
It's mysterious. It's mysterious.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can capture mysterious here. All right. So we're going to need some darker shadows. And what we're going to have to do is gray all of the shadows. So every color I put on, I'm going to have to just use this pile of gray in it a little bit. So
hey, Leanne Triple likes the hair, Joe. So there you go.
Nice. All right, good. Maybe I'll show up with that hair someday on the video. We'll see if I can pull
didn't
off.
you used to melt crayons into your hair to make
when I had dreadlocks. Together? Yeah. There's things that I think my teenage years were a never ceasing pursuit of importance and like what is gonna. I need to stand out. I just needed to stand out in some way. I was like, I'm gonna try dreads. I'm gonna have the craziest ideas for my hair. Everything in my life was an attempt to experiment and find that super special. You know what I mean? Pursuit of the super special.
Pursuit of the super special.
Yeah.
What's up, Liverpool? Steven up in here from Liverpool. We see you.
Hey, all right. Welcome. All right, let's get some color on these lips, but it's got to be dark. I'm going to get some orange. I'm running a little shy on the orange. This is kind of a nice way to approach this. I have primaries available, but these pre-mixed batches, man, they speed up my process so much. Okay. Once again, we're putting the shadow on the upper lip because the light is now slightly brighter up top. And we're going to put light on the lower lip. I like how this person immediately becomes more attractive to me when that lighting switches. Ben, do you remember a funny episode of Seinfeld? Where
I remember a lot of funny episodes.
Yeah, did you watch I didn't know if you were much of a Seinfeld watcher. I feel like admitting that I watched Seinfeld is a form of confession because
I fall asleep to Seinfeld on the couch maybe a couple nights a week, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Man, does he do a good job of just pegging the ridiculous nuances of being human or what? So,
yeah.
So there's one scene where he's got a girlfriend. He's got a girlfriend. As we know, he's always going through girlfriends. And this girlfriend looks beautiful, except when the light changes. And whenever the light changes, they like switch the actor, and they do exactly what you're talking about. They intentionally do bad lighting on this different actor, or they put makeup on her. But it's so funny, the overstated. And then he like backs up. Oh, he's shocked.
Yeah, it's powerful, man. It's powerful. We got Alan Huddleston in the building from Kentucky. What up? What up?
Hey, good to see Alan. Thanks for showing up.
Let us know where you at. That's fun for us to hear.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting a little more light in here. I'm going to boost this up. We're going to put the natural shadows back in. We're going to put this natural shadow back in there. This person is going to get more attractive as I put these in because these are the more expected shadows, like what you've been saying. Let's see. It's like, oh yeah, that's a human. I relate to that person.
That's right. They're probably not about to kill me. They don't have light underneath their face.
Yeah. And that's an interesting thing because the science in me says, well, that's a terrible way to judge somebody. But nevertheless, it causes that real reaction. That's fascinating to me. Huh. Very interesting.
Well, Joe, I don't know that it's judging a person as much as it is like self-preservation.
Judging a situation.
Yeah, judging a situation, trying to
Yeah,
determine likely outcomes.
right, right. And so yeah, I gave that like a mean spin, where it's more of a it's just a reaction of predicting what the mood is, you know. Sure, but nevertheless, I'm just so curious about it, you know, why. And I guess there's a lot of times when those instincts probably prove helpful, because when all those ingredients don't quite add up to what you've known to be safe environment, I think a lot of times those instincts are right. You know, so
Mm.
maybe that's why they exist, because
Yeah,
of
well,
the
Leanne remembers that episode of Seinfeld. So funny, they say. And also, Mavis is saying that perhaps it's an unconscious reaction to how we've been conditioned, probably mostly in the movies.
yeah.
How
I
we
mean, I'm
know
not
about
against
clear
that.
lighting. That makes me think about a chicken and an egg, though. Like,
Like what came first?
yeah, yeah. Are the movies effective because what we've experienced in our own lives, or
Yeah,
do our own
yeah.
lives take shape based on what we've seen in the stories
Sure.
told to us?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good question. I think there's merit to both theories there for sure.
How about watercolors, Joe? Steven wants to know, you a watercolors guy?
Man, I think they look awesome. I don't spend a lot of time trying to master them, because I think they're very hard. You know, like, let's give props to people that create nice looking watercolors, because it's not simple.
We
You know,
saw
it's
some
not.
pretty awesome watercolor paintings last week. And on that note, there's a link in this description of this video where if you guys want to go to that link and drag and drop your JPEGs, your images, your paintings, your pictures of your cats, we'll have a look-see and
Pictures of your
see what
cat.
you guys are up to.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, I'm almost there. We're gonna finish this off with the rim lighting in just a moment here. I'm getting the reversing the uh, underlighting, and just getting some or more ordinary overhead lighting in here. There we go. Do a little bit of that. That one. Get a little bit of this. I guess I didn't really get the more grayish tone that we were after, but it's okay. We're just staying away from the real bright colors is what we're doing. I think this might be the most difficult part of the face right here. That part, you can get the strangest outcomes when that doesn't quite go right. Just very strange outcomes. So I slow down whenever I get to this part that is I call it the snout, you know.
Mm.
This is the part I really slow down.
Taz is saying that she suddenly looks a lot older, perhaps because the eyes
Yeah,
are more defined now.
protruded things out a little more. I need to. This color kind of doesn't fit now. I made some different decisions. I went like more gray. But actually, what should we do? Let's just boost up the color a little bit with that. Let's go a little bit. I'm going to take this darkest color I mixed. I kind of did a change order on this. Let's take this, put that in there, more brownish on these cheeks. There we go. Like that. Now the nose, that nose is looking weird. I think we're seeing intermediate moods, Ben. We've got scrambled. And isn't that true about life? Is it's always some mixture of
Yeah.
the different elements that kind of create the mood altogether?
Yeah, it's so complex. Very seldom. Shoot, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say never are we under the influence of only one force. It's always multiple forces. This is a
Yeah.
very complex, complicated existence, man. We got light hitting us from
Yeah.
all directions. We got feelings hitting us from all directions, thoughts, ideas, other life forces all bouncing off of each other on the surface of this thing. Like, it's a
You've got,
gradient of influences. You know, we get
Sure.
to choose.
Well, you can always tell an outer space photo because it has so much less ambient lighting. When you see somebody up on a space station, you know.
Hey, funny you should mention from the spaceship I'm on right now.
You don't look like outer space lighting. It looks like you got your cabin lights on.
No, but no, honestly, here, check this out.
Okay.
Cut to me, Joe. Cut to
I
me.
got it on you. I got it on you.
Check it out. Check it out. So if you look at this planet, right?
Yeah.
This thing right here.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That is case in point. Or like the moon up in the sky, right? It's very high contrast because it's out there in blackness. And
Yeah.
the sun is hitting it from just this side, you know, and then it wraps to complete black because on the other side there's absolutely no light source or there's incredibly minimal. So yeah, out in space, it's a very dramatic example of how an object can be affected by just a singular source of light.
Yeah. Nice. That was a good example.
I mean, you said it.
Yeah, that was good. All right. I'm going to put some dark eyebrows on my character, and then we're going to move on to the backlit. You know, we had to set the stage. This person just got real dark skin. I just moved down my it looks very, very indigenous at the moment, doesn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah, quite indigenous. Whatever that means.
Yeah. Well, meaning like a dark-skinned native tribe. You know, I can't decide if it's somewhere in the Americas or somewhere in Africa.
I think they live in the Amazon for sure.
This is Amazon right here. You've got it figured out, huh?
This is an uncontacted tribe right here, you guys.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to darken this cheek just a little bit, make it less, and this will make it look less old probably, is making the cheeks protrude out less. You know, a smoother face, less difference between the deep and the shallow. Let's just leave that. Let's just leave that because we need to move on to the backlit. Okay. We're going to do the backlit now. Let's get our dark colors. Sorry, Rufio's got to go. We're gonna get nice dark color in here. Okay, we're gonna put some warmer colors starting to show up on the edges. We're gonna use this. I'm just using this right here, and we're just gonna add that to the edges of the hair, like this. Go in like this, like that. I gotta make the noises. You know, the noises help me. I don't know. That's the helpfulness of noises is as much of a question as why the reaction to the lighting. You know, it's another like physiological thing.
Yeah. Well, you know, I kind of think, Joe, let me tell you what I think here.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
Your younger brother and co-host of this experience.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, being is a sight and sound experience, a feeling, sight, and sound experience. We see things, we hear things, we feel things.
Yeah.
And as you're doing this visual, right, you've got the sight thing down.
Yeah.
And inside you're feeling things.
That's true. It does come down to feelings, you know.
You don't have any sound in this world yet. So how are you going to get this world to feel more real? You're going to make some sounds.
Whoa, dude, you've really put thought into this. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, cinema I'm attracted to because it's the most engaging I've found of all mediums because it's rich with sight, sound, and feeling. It just raptures us and takes us away.
You know, I've made the mistake of thinking that a good video was all about the image and then neglected to engineer the audio.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Classic mistake, man. Filmmaker 101 is spend more money and time on your sound design than your camera.
Wow.
I've made that mistake.
So you're actually saying that it's more important.
Well, yeah, because what we were talking about earlier, much of the world is a lack of detail, right?
Yeah.
You can't see a lot of the time, but you're always hearing things in great complexity, you know?
Yeah.
You rub your fingers together 6 inches from your ear, and you just hear this, complex little friction in there. There's sound everywhere. The sound of silence. They've written songs
Oh,
about
he
the
said
sound of
it.
silence.
He said the sound of silence.
Anyways, hey, welcome from Istanbul, Turkey, Akiz Koskun. And I just butchered all that, but welcome.
Thank you for tuning in. Yeah,
Glad you
good
could
job.
make
It was
it.
a good try. I appreciate your try. I think that was a really insightful answer about that. I honestly have never thought about that with sound effects. So and I think it just kind of rings true to my instincts. I'm like, I think that is what I'm doing. I think I am
You're
I'm
just
in a
filling out your
world.
world. There's
Yeah.
a void there in the sound department.
And I'm here to have fun. And it would be a whole lot more fun if my world had sound. That's it. Okay. Now,
I wonder if we ran with that then. And if while you're painting, let's
yeah.
say you're painting like a river scene, or like,
Yeah.
if you had the sound of like a babbling brook just playing, like how much would that enhance your
Whoa.
painting if you were just
Yeah.
listening to a flowing river?
I don't want to make the system crash by trying that, but I think there's a lot. Well, and people always talk about what Bob Ross had going. There was definitely a vibe there with the way he talks. And you would, that voice. And my son likes me to read to him before bed, and I've heard him rustling around a whole bunch. I'm like, Zayden, are you even listening? His name's Zayden. Are you even listening? And I'll be like, what did I just read? Because I'm like, I'm not there to read to myself. But then he's like, one time he just told me, he's like, well, I just really like the sound of your voice while I'm going to sleep. He mostly likes that my voice puts him to sleep. Yeah, well, it's like I have mixed feelings about it, because it's like that means that my talking puts my son to sleep. But on the other hand, I'd rather him like my voice than another,
Well, our mom used to sing on the ukulele and knock me right out too.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I would go right to sleep.
Yeah. Okay. What are we missing? Have we accomplished this mood number 3? Have we accomplished
this is mood number 4, dude.
Oh,
so we had
mood
the
number
front light, we had the side light, we got
bad.
the underlight, and now you got backlight.
Yeah, we're backlighting it.
Yeah,
and so I'm just kind of winging the color. I'm just picking color.
Looks. 4 different looks. Not one of them is wrong. Not one of them is right. They just all feel different. And,
indeed.
We're getting close to the home stretch here, so I'm going to remind you guys. There's a link in the description if you want to share anything. Now's the time. We're going to have a look at that in a second. If you got any questions, hit us up in the chat. Joe's going to be happy to hear from you.
Yep. I want to see that. Ben's doing a good job here, making sure I have access to the conversation. No way I can do that while I paint, but I do enjoy hearing it. Okay, I'm going to adjust little nuances of this face.
Leanne gives you a texted thumbs up. They did not smash the thumbs up button. They just texted thumbs up. Seems like that should be more effective,
You can text something?
Well, in the chat. Just
in the chat. Yeah, right. Yeah, nice.
HUMBSUP exclamation point.
Yeah.
Seems like the algorithm should weight that more heavily, Like if somebody goes through the work to like type, I like this a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, well, they're doing both. They're smashing the button. They're texting the things. So thanks, Leanne.
Okay, sweet.
Mavis is still just itching for some practice, man. Wants some homework. Wants something to do.
Okay. This is the thing to do. I'm enjoying my painting at the moment, so I apologize for being distracted. The thing to do, I'm gonna give a step-by-step on how to manipulate these shapes that I've manipulated to try to quickly capture these different lighting moods without spending a whole bunch of effort on remapping my person. See, I was taking someone had mentioned it looks older. What I was doing now is expanding the size and the gradient, even though doing a messy job, still just expanding it so that these cheekbones are not as protruding and sharp. That is an older feature from skull bones growing out. So the more you smash everything down to smooth, the more childlike or feminine it becomes. And that includes the jaw bones going upward. So here you go. Let's go like this. Let's put let's do some shapes right here. I want to show you exactly what I'm using to do this. Here is a face. Okay. Here's a shape. Nose bridge like this and go like this. That is a nose bridge and the ball on the end of the nose. And that can be a color. You know, you can see it in my painting right here. That can be a color. Then we put nostrils on there. They go further back. Everyone knows the nostrils aren't further forward than the rest of the nose. So those could be a slightly darker color, which you see is what I did. And all of these shapes are going to have intermediate shapes. So then cheeks go directly to the side of the nostrils. Okay, so they go like this. We're going to put a cheek that is going to make room for the eye socket. So it'll kind of round down like this. And it's going to go like this, curve up like this. And then it's going to get darker. So we'll make a couple layers. This will be the brightest zone. This is going to get darker, usually darker, as it goes up to the middle of that bridge. See that? Like that. So you can remember that shape. Okay, I'm going to do it on the other side. We're going to do a cheekbone right across from the nostrils. See, because it comes and goes above it. So we're going to go like this again. These are the shapes I use to quickly sculpt before I even bother with trying to get details, because I'll just kill myself trying to get those details while simultaneously trying to get these shapes. I got to get this in first. This is where likeness occurs. This is where, so that, again, brighter, darker, darker, darker. This is where you capture likeness, is figuring out this 1, 2, 3, you know, these points are in slightly varying locations on a person. Okay, lower eyelid is going to be a shadow right in here. And then and that, you know, you can see mine, it just kind of merges right to this color. So it might touch it, you know, we just put it right there like that. Might be big, might be small. It's lower eyelid, upper eyelid is right there. That's going to be a lighter color. You can see I did a lighter color on upper eyelid. So we go like this, like this. Okay, then we have a shadow that's the brow right here. And watch this shape. See how I did like a unibrow. This could be done better. So deeper is darker, shallower is lighter. I'll simplify this with that in mind. We're going to go like this. We're going to go up like this because there's this concave in the forehead right there. And this shape comes in here, comes in the side of the eye, goes to the top of that eyelid, comes down here, and it's like a mask. You know, it comes down to a point, comes down to a point, goes up around that eyelid, goes over here. All right. So see, we have our zones mapped out. And so I just have these committed to memory in order to do them quick. So once you get that, you put the mouth in. Upper lip is going to be darker. Bottom lip is going to be lighter. We're going to have a shape under the lower lip that's something like this. Up, down, like a W. Okay. Chin is going to be a circle under that. There's going to be a lower cheek that connects these. Zoop, zoop. I need sound in my world. Zoop, zoop, like that. Forehead. Okay, draw a line around it. And this is your generic startup person form. This is how you do it. Like that. Very fun.
Sick. Looks pretty sick. Hey guys, we're gonna get this thing wrapped up here. And I just wanted to come on over here and have a look real quick at this nice little thing we got painted here. I believe,
Share.
Let's see, who is this?
I'm going to be a little harder on everybody on this one. There was a comment about giving real critique. I'm going to up the critique a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, we got a shy group today. So here is our solitary submission.
Oh, I like that. I like that picture. That's nice. Okay. Any way to expand that a little bigger? Is that possible?
Yeah, let's expand that thing. Let's expand it. I'm going to click some buttons here and, you know, zoop.
Hey, there we go. Nice. Hey, I like that a lot. Nice work. Nice work. That's cool.
So this
Okay.
one coming in from who did this?
Yeah, this is a great this looks like a work in progress, you know, because I see like a sketched out hand there. And uh you know, this is a cool picture. So I'm gosh, I don't have any harsh critiques
Yeah, that's
for this
John
at
Kennedy.
all.
John Kennedy got this in progress painting.
Okay, very cool. I like it. I like it. That'll be neat. I would, you know, right now, since it's in progress, I'm sure you're on your way to doing it. But I think when you get really dark shadows in the deepest, just like I've been doing on mine, the deepest wrinkles in the shirt, space between the people, you know, real dark shadows in there will just pop that three-dimensional quality out. Good job getting the, you know, eyes, nose, mouth, getting those while you're still at low detail is a good move. I like that a lot. Then this is very much like what we've been talking about. This has lighting, it has mood to it because of the kind of lighting. All right, I got no criticism for that. It's a great work in progress, and I'm impressed. Good anatomy. The people
Going for a
look
Norman
natural.
Rockwell, that kind of a vibe, they
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
Is what John's
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. The people have a real organic, natural anatomy to them. I like it. That's well done.
Yeah, well, we've been at it for an hour and a half, Joe. What do you think about that?
Dude, it's time to go. Hey, check this out. I got one more thing to say. Let's go back to that one more time.
Yeah, I got things to say. Oh, you want to go back to that? All right, let's check it out.
I saw something at the last second. I apologize. I just want to tell you something about shoulders. Can
All
we
right,
share?
tell them.
Can we
Tell them
share?
about shoulders.
No, we don't even have to look. Here we go. I just noticed this. This is a helpful thing to know. When an arm goes up real high, now maybe you're going off a photograph. I could be off on this, but just check it. Just check it. Shoulders lead the arm. So when the arm goes up, the shoulder really goes up next to the ear. It's possible that this shoulder got placed a little bit too low for how high the arm is. That's possible, but there's a work in progress. I could be wrong. I just want to offer that as advice to check, something to check for. Okay. All right. Great work.
All right,
Thanks
there
for
you
sharing.
go. Also, you know, Akiz says that they want to share this. Joe is the best artist in painting all kind of water, clouds and landscapes.
What? Thanks a lot, my friend. Thank you. That's a
With
very
the
nice
information
compliment.
and knowledge you have given, they were able to paint beautiful landscapes. Thank you, Akiz from Turkey.
Nice. I'm super encouraged to hear that. My highest hope is that the information I share is useful. That's my highest hope. So I appreciate that compliment, that the things I've shared have helped you in your work. I couldn't wish for anything better. I really appreciate that.
And Jacob's got a recommendation, maybe blending acrylics live stream. Just like, you know, hey, today we're going to be blending acrylics, soft edges, you know.
Yeah.
We like the suggestions. Hit us up with your suggestions.
I like that suggestion. Pre-mixing is a huge, you know, you can see my pre-mixing ups the speed. Trying to do that from primaries is way harder than the pre-mixing. But yeah, a whole video definitely could be made. That's a great idea, Jacob. You know, we're just looking at Ben so huge right now. All right, are we ready to call it? We got. Do we have any more pictures to look at? Any more?
Hey man, that is a wrap for the day. Let's get some brunch.
Okay, time to eat. Good seeing everybody. If you got a crazy story that you'd like to share on my show, I would love to hear it and paint a scene from it. So just send me an email. Still waiting for that. You know, not a lot of people took the bait last week.
Not a lot of people see a lot of crazy stuff. It's a very unusual thing, you know. You gotta.
Yeah.
It's
I like stories. We have a love for stories here. Okay.
Yep. Will we see everybody next week or what?
Sounds good. We're gonna see you next week. Yeah, you got time? You got time next week?
Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it. Saturday. All right. See you guys later.